Hi, this is Jim from TrekWorld. Today I'm going to tell you about the Star Trek universe. Now, not necessarily the Star Trek universe that you and I normally think of. As a reminder, if there are items in this video that you are interested in purchasing, there will be affiliate links that you can find in the description. Additionally, please consider supporting this channel. The easiest way to do so is to press the join button on any video. For a mere 99 cents a month, it will get you access to private community messages, prioritized response to comment, exclusive live streams, and access to videos that have not been released yet to the public. Star Trek Universe is the collective term used by CBS and Paramount to refer to all things Star Trek. There was a rather specific Star Trek Universe line that was done in the 1990s and into the early 2000s that was actually tied to trading cards and related ephemera here in the United States. In the late 1990s, a company called Newfield Publications said they wanted to do a part work in the United States, which was the first time a major company actually introduced that kind of concept, especially to Star Trek fans. Now, what's a part work, you ask? Good question. A part work is where you take something that you're buying from me, let's say, and then it's expensive, okay? Do those of you remember as a child when the people would come knocking on the front door for Encyclopedia Britannica, and your parents had one of two reactions to an Encyclopedia Britannica salesman. One reaction was to cower in fear because they knew how much this thing cost, and if they let this person inside their house, their child might overhear what a wonderful thing this is for their education, and then the next couple of nights might not be very pleasant for the parents. So in most cases, people immediately threw their shields up and pushed them out the door. And then the second way was you would actually have some people that actually could afford Britannica and figured, why not? Let's go ahead and get it. But for the vast majority of Americans, they could not afford Britannica as a whole. So what started to happen was companies like Funk and Wagnalls decided to do encyclopedias that you would buy one volume at a time. Sometimes it would be a monthly subscription that come through the mail, like a book club. And other times, Hates of Funk and Wagnalls, it was actually in your local grocery store. If you have any videos, photos, or documents that you would like to donate to us, please feel free to send them to jim@trek-world.com or submit them via the web at submit.trek-world.com. You could go in, and I think the first one I remember was like 49 cents, got to the letter A. Biting it off, $1.50, $2 at a time is easier to do, especially in the 1970s. So part works didn't really go over very well because they actually reminded people of things they couldn't afford. However, that doesn't mean they never worked at all. I very strongly remember the Betty Crocker recipe set, which was basically your mother subscribing to a series of Betty Crocker recipe cards that would be mailed out once a month. She would get a nice little fancy little box in the very first shipment, and then once a month for X amount of dollars, I could have looked it up, but I don't remember, it would give you a handful of cards. I remember that, and it was successful. I knew a lot of parents growing up, the mothers that had those cards. So along comes Newfield Publications, and they want to release this. Now, what you're seeing here is a very, very high quality, not quite 8.5 by 11. It might more be closer to 8 by 10. And this is actually a wonderful behind-the-scenes card. Okay, and the cards were in several groups. One group was by television series, obviously. We had the original series, The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and Enterprise. So they released a packet of cards for each of these TV series, and the packets would be then subdivided into things like character, culture, race, episode, technology, ships, and behind the scenes. And the quality of the cards is really, really good. They're very high glossy, as you can see here. They're a high gloss. They're actually quite thick compared to regular paper. I would consider this to be the equivalent of magazine cover material. And then about halfway through the run, they started being offered by Atlas Editions. Okay, you know you liked the video, so go ahead and do me a favor. Click that like button so that YouTube will know to show this video to more people. Same series, same set. However, the sales began to peter off towards the end. And so as a result, only about 850 of these cards were made, maybe 900 cards, somewhere in that area. And that means that if you actually have the complete set, then you probably have pretty much everything that was planned for the original series. But each of the subsequent TV series have larger and larger omissions in the number of cards that were printed because they never completed the run. And this was definitely a wonderful first try. And a lot of people don't realize that these are available. You could probably buy a complete set of 800 of these for well under, including the binders, well under $100 on eBay. Matter of fact, I ended up buying a whole bunch of them because it's like buying a pig in a poke. You don't really know what you're going to get until you open it up. So if you're trying to find a couple of the rarest cards, you don't know that the group that you're buying has those cards in it. And it's not practical to ask the seller to double check the way they could say with a trading card program, because in this case, they actually have to go thumbing through several hundred of these things. And after the second or third question, they don't take too kindly to it. And for those of you who feel sad that the part work didn't survive, I do have better news for you with another video coming up in the near future, which talks about a part work that did survive. And it delivered the largest body of Star Trek information ever published.